The wars between Poland and Sweden. Dominium Maris Baltici. In other words, the battles between Denmark, Sweden, Russia and Poland for domination of the area of the Baltic Sea from 1563 to 1570. In 1577 there was a war between Poland and Russia for the area called Inflante, today Latvia and Estonia. The fact that the King of Poland, Zygmunt III Vasa, 1587 to 1632, inherited the throne of Sweden raised hopes that the two countries might join their potentials and guarantee peace on the Baltic Sea. However, when the King of Poland lost the Swedish throne and a dynastic conflict arose, the tension between the two countries grew, eventually leading to armed struggle. The first stage took place between 1600 and 1611, when one of the biggest battles, the Battle of Kirchholm, 1605, was fought. A truce was made in 1611. The second stage of the conflict happened between 1617 and 1629, when Sweden took advantage of the fact that Poland was involved in military operations elsewhere, and every single year took over a piece of Inflante. After numerous battles, a truce was made in Altmark, now Stare Targ, a district of Pomerania, in 1629. On the 6th of July 1626, the King of Sweden, Gustav Adolf, 1611 to 1632, landed in Piława and started his march to Gdańsk. It was then that Torun was in the vicinity of war action and began to mobilize, strengthening its fortifications, recruiting soldiers, and declaring its active provisions at the assembly in Grudziądz in October 1626. Torun was chosen as the place where Polish troops would be concentrated in the fight against the Swedes. As a result, King Zygmunt III summoned the Special Assembly to Torun on the 19th of November 1626. The session was held in the Artus Hall, the House of Representatives, and the Town Hall, the King and the Senate. Frequent visits of both the King and Prince Władysław were associated with battles in 1626 and 1627, as well as the sessions. On the 16th and 17th of February 1629, the Battle for Torun took place. They were the first attacks in modern times, and the only ones that didn't end in the capture of the town. During the siege, however, there was a lot of destruction in the town, and the suburbs were almost completely burnt down. The conflict continued during the war between 1655 and 1660, known as the Swedish Flood. It was then that Sweden attacked Poland, aiming at complete domination over the Baltic Sea. The plans of invasion included Royal Prussia and Torun. This time the authorities decided to surrender, and the conditions were set on the 4th of December 1655. The following day the Swedish army entered Torun, followed by King Carolus X Gustavus, 1654 to 1660. The Swedes were welcomed at one of the town gates, Brama Helminska, by the mayor, who, along with the town council, hosted the king in the town hall. However, resistance against the Swedes and their rule soon began to rise. On the night of the 16th and 17th of November 1658, the Polish army battered the town for several hours, which made the Swedes capitulate on the 22nd of December 1658. The terms of the surrender were exceptionally lenient for the invaders, allowing them to leave the town in an honorable way. So, on the 1st of January 1659, the town welcomed King Jan Kazimierz, 1648 to 1668, whose 18-day visit was associated with the decision to leave Polish troops in Torun. The garrison consisted of 1,300 soldiers who were to be provided with bread every day and paid 6,000 Polish zloty monthly by the citizens of Torun. The 5-year-long war was ended with the peace treaty in Oliva in 1660. The conflict revived in 1700 when Denmark, Russia, and August II, 1697 to 1704 and 1709 to 1733, as the King of Poland and Saxon-Elector, 1694 to 1733, formed the Northern League, Liga Północna, which aimed at taking over Swedish dominions. War broke out and lasted 20 years, ending with the peace treaty in Nystad in 1721. The most serious fights that were on Polish territory took place between 1702 and 1706. During the war, Torun suffered the most. King August II summoned the session of the Council of Senate to Torun, which lasted from the 27th of November to the 13th of December 1702, and took part in the session himself. After the meeting, the royal court and members of the council stayed in Torun, which became a place of meetings and consultation. Taking no notice of the burghers' aversion, the king strengthened the garrison in Torun. On the 13th of February 1703, after several months, he left the town followed by his court. In May 1703, a long siege of Torun by the Swedish army began. Cutting the town off from water, the Swedes weakened not only the soldiers, but also the inhabitants. Shortages of food supplies and the lack of water resulted in dysentery epidemics. In the third month of the siege, up to 40 soldiers died daily. On the 24th of September 1703 at 4 p.m., the Swedes started firing from all their cannons positioned around the town, including at least 30 heavy cannons and 4 mortars. Shells mainly reached the center near the town hall. Firebombs which fell through its roof and walls caused a fire, which laid waste to the whole interior of the building, whereas the roofs and the dome of the tower collapsed. The buildings on the western side of the Old Town Market and the ones in streets now called Różana and Piekary were severely damaged as well. The town and its fortifications were battered all night long, and again the following day from 4 p.m. till dusk. On the 26th of September, the cannonade lasted from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The losses got more and more severe, and their area extended. Even the tenement houses in the new town and near the ruins of the castle got damaged, as well as the monastery and the Church of the Dominicans. Under these circumstances, a war council was promptly summoned, leading to the first talks on the 7th of October. Due to the fact that the Swedes refused any negotiations, demanding unconditional surrender, and the army defending Torun rejected their demands, the 6 batteries of guns opened fire again, and the town was threatened with being stormed the following day. This resulted in the garrison of Torun initiating talks aimed at setting the conditions of surrender. On the 14th of October 1703, the garrison of Torun surrendered unconditionally.